Hello everyone, welcome back to Worklyst Educate YouTube channel. I am Debashish, your iOS guide in this series. In the last video, we learned about functions, how do we declare them, pass parameters, and return values. Tell me in comments if you have practiced them, and also I wrote a function for develop too. And if you have not watched that yet, so go back and watch that so that you can follow along. So now today we're going to learn one of the most unique and powerful feature in Swift, something that confuses beginners, but once you get it, it makes total sense. That is optionals. So let's get back to our Swift editor and we'll start with optionals. So what are optionals? In Swift, an optional is a type that can hold either a value or no value at all. That means nil. So it can have the value or it might not have the value. So for those type of things we use optionals. Let's see an example. Let me write the code quickly. So here you can see I have a var name of type string, but you can see this question mark. This is optional. If you don't see this thing, then that means it is not optional. But if I add a question mark, that means it is optional. Let me run this code and show you the output. See, the output is optional devices. But if I remove this string optional question mark from here, then I will not get this optional thing here. See, now the output is only devices. It's not optional anymore. But sometimes in the real world you can see there are values that might contain data or might not contain data. So in those cases we need to use this question mark as that can be an optional. So let's see how we can declare optionals. Let me write a code for you first. So there are generally two ways to declare optionals. The first way is like this: var name of type string optional, and I give a value, the earlier one that I showed you. Let me give a new name, new variable, that is new name. Okay, so this is the first way. Then I have another way, that is, see, var nickname of type string optional, but the value is nil. It means that nickname holds no value, but here the new name holds a value. So both are returning similar type of things, that is optional, but like the data that is contained in them, it is different. Like the new name contains some data, but the nickname doesn't contain any data, so that's why it is nil. Okay, so let's see what is unwrapping optionals. If you have heard about it, like so the important question here is how to use optionals, because like earlier we saw while I printed the name, we get the output as optional. This is not nice, right? So there are different ways like how we can use the optionals, like by unwrapping them. So let's see one by one. One is optional binding with if let. So there are multiple ways to use to unwrap optionals. So first one is the optional binding with if let. Let me write the code quickly for you. So here we have already declared this variable name. We will use this one only. So see, if I have written the code as if let actual name equal to name, then print hello actual name, else no name provided. So if I run this code, let's see what is the output. The output is hello devices, because there is some value in the name, but if I pass if let actual name equal to nickname, where nickname holds the nil value, then what should I get? I will get no name provided. See, the output is no name provided because the nickname has nil value. So it will not give the output as optional devices, hello name optional devices. It will not give that output. It will check if that optional value holds a value or not, or it is nil. If that holds a value, then it will give the output, else it will go to the else part. Okay, so this is how we use if let to unwrap optionals. So now let's see one more way, that is guardlet. Let me quickly write the function for you. Okay, so here I have function greet user. I am passing the parameter user, and that is taking a parameter of type string optional. So inside that I have written cardlet equal to cardlet username equal to user, else username no user found, then it will return. If the user is found, then it will not go to the else part and it will print welcome username. So let's call this function. I can pass here nil because it is string optional. Well, let's see what will the output if I pass the string. So the output is no user found. But if I pass, let's say Swift, so the output is welcome Swift. So it is checking inside this only guardlet if there is something with this user parameter or not. If there is something, then it will not go to the else part. If there is nothing, it will go to the else part and return it from here directly. So guardlet is generally used while using functions, used mostly with function. Okay, so this was the second way to unwrap optionals. Now let's see one more way. That is force unwrapping. Okay, see this one I'm just printing the name that I had declared earlier. So force unwrapping means I'll definitely find a value inside this. I'll force it to give me some value. Let me run this and see what is the output. See, the output is this, but with force unwrapping there are certain issues. If I don't have a value with the name, then it will crash. Let's see, if I have this value as nil and I will run this, let's see what will the output. See, it is giving a crash. So that means force unwrapping is not a better method to use, because to use force unwrapping you must ensure that the variable must contain a value. It should not never be nil. If it is nil, then you cannot use force unwrapping. Okay, so now let's go to understand Nil-Coalescing Operator. That is double question mark. Do you have any idea about Nil-Coalescing Operator? It is a cool feature of Swift. It lets you provide default values for any optional thing. Let me show you with an example. Let's say I have a variable at username of type string and given its value as nil. Then I'll have another variable display name which is equal to user nickname. If there is no as it is optional, it will ask me to give an default value. So I can give the default value as cached here. So I'll just print the display name here. Let me see what is the output. The output is cached because user nickname is nil. But if I give some value to user nickname, then it should not be cached. It should be Debashish. Let's see what is the output. See, the final output is Debashish only, because if I give it nil, then user nickname doesn't exist. It's nil, so it will go to the default value. So it will directly print the default value as the output. With this, we understand that optionals are very much powerful, because it's like it will deal with every time, like if you don't have any value inside any variable, so it will deal like we can handle that. It will give us an error, it will give us a warning, so we can check that and we can handle it on our side. Like if the data exists or not, we can check that. We can give a default value if required. We can use cardlet, deflate operators to handle our data correctly. We can use force unwrapping if we know the data exists. We can use Nil-Coalescing Operator to keep a default value to the variable. So because of this, we know that optionals are very much powerful in Swift. So you need to understand this very carefully, and once you get it, it will be very much helpful in building real world apps. So that's all for this video. So let's quickly revise what we have learned today. We learned what is optionals, how do we declare optionals using giving values and giving nils, and like we learned how to unwrap optionals. There are three ways to unwrap optionals, like optional binding with iflet, then optional binding with cardlet, which is used mostly in function. Then the last one is force unwrapping, which is not mostly recommended as it will crash if you don't have the value. Then we learned about Nil-Coalescing Operator, which helps us giving default values to variables. Then we learned how optionals are very much powerful in real world apps. So I'll give a challenge for you. 1 second. Okay, so here is a challenge for you. Let me write it quickly here. So here is a challenge for you. Try writing a function that takes an optional name and greets the user. But if no name is provided, it says hello guest. Post it in the comments and I will check them out. I'll keep shout out to the correct answers. So that's all about this video. In the next video, we are going to learn about arrays, collections, and different other data types in Swift. That is another most important concept that you must know before going to the real world apps. So stay tuned to this series and give it a like if you find it useful, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks. See you again.